Yeah, you can go ahead. You can just speak about yourself.
Which course are we doing today? It's the demo course, right? So are we doing the Microsoft Fabric course or the
It's a
data eng
demo class only. It's a demo class only on Fabric. Before that, just speak about yourself, like how many years of experience you have, or whether you're fresher.
Oh, okay,
And
okay. Yeah,
as
so
part of this,
understood, thank you. So I'm a recent graduate from college. I have a year of experience coding. I'm looking to break into an entry level job in the US right now, whether it's using Microsoft Fabric or certain data tools as a data analyst or a data engineer.
Okay. So you are also looking for Azure Data Engineer or just for the Fabric course?
I wanted to learn Fabric because my uncle was telling me there are more opportunities with Fabric with it being a new resource. So I figured it'd be a good skill for me to pick up just in case employers are looking for it.
Okay. Like Ganesh mentioned, you are looking for both the Azure Data Engineer as well as the Microsoft Fabric.
I think
Yes.
yes. See, there are like two options. You want to like learn the data engineering and belong with this like Fabric. Fabric is the main thing, but for that, like before going to like Fabric, you want to like know about data engineers.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
the reason.
that's correct.
Okay. Let me
So,
share my screen. Yeah. Yeah, go ahead.
no, I was just saying I wanted to also get a foundation of data engineer and the skill set of those as well.
Sure. Yeah, let me share my screen. Can you see my screen?
Not yet. Yeah, now I can.
Yeah, I'll just introduce myself. I have like 18 years of IT experience, more than 8 years into big data technologies and cloud technologies. I have worked in like various industry domains like banking, telecom, the healthcare and manufacturing. And also the main core thing in terms of the technology, I have experience into Azure Cloud Big Data Technology platform, and I played a role of the architect as well as product manager, scrum manager, and other various roles also I have played. I have experience into Microsoft Fabric, Microsoft Purview, which is governance tool, then Azure AI or Azure AI Foundry or Azure AI Studio. Along with that, the Azure Data Factory, which is ETL tool, and then similar to that, coding-based Azure Databricks, which is also kind of transformation or Spark platform for the data transformations, Azure Synapse Analytics, Azure Data Explorer, and yeah, the Microsoft Fabric main thing. And then apart from that, also have experience into the CI/CD part, that is Azure DevOps, and like other various Azure technologies like SQL DB, ADLS, Gen2, all those. So the course related to the Azure data engineering, it's mainly focused on the some of the Azure services that I'll explain. So it involves like Azure Data Factory, Azure Storage Account, ADLS Gen 2 account, Azure Data Lake Storage Gen 2. Then how to manage the storage within the cloud. That is one thing that will be handled through these two services. And then the Azure Data Factory, which is the data copy and transformation tool. Azure Databricks, which involves like heavy coding, like using PySpark or Scala or Spark SQL language. And then we have the Azure Synapse Analytics. So we are going to like intermediate level of the understanding of these services. So it's up to you how you want to go through this course. So this is specific course for as a Azure Data Engineer. So this involves these many services, and then Azure Synapse Analytics, which is a SQL data warehouse. Then we have the Azure Stream Analytics for streaming data. Along with that, we have the Azure Event Hub, and then there will be introduction on the Microsoft Purview data governance tool. So this course will cover off these many services. Any question on this? And then
Uh,
we, yeah.
Sorry, no questions so far. I don't have a lot of experience with PySpark or Scala. So I would need like I guess introduction to those as well.
Yeah, so as part of this, we are going to have like how we can read the files like CSV, Parquet file formats or different file formats into these languages, PySpark, Scala, and how we can create the tables as well into SQL and how we can query the tables. So that we are going to see as part of this course content. So this is specifically for DP203. This is going to expire on like tomorrow only, this certificate from the Microsoft. They are going to retire this certificate because they are going to promote the DP600 certification, the Fabric one. So these services are still there. These services are not going anywhere as of now until the market gets captured with the Fabric one. So right now, all the projects which are there in the industry are related to these services. And we will be also going through the basics of the Python, Scala, and SQL, like when we will learn about the Databricks. And we will also learn about the architecture patterns, the mainly the lakehouse architecture, and then the modern data warehousing solutions. So we'll go through the basics of cloud. If you don't have experience into Azure cloud as well, we will see how you can create account, what are the navigations that we need to follow, all these UI related things and the functionalities and features of the Azure cloud. We are going to see that. Along with that, we are also going to see the data ingestion, how to bring the data from the on-prem to cloud or cloud to cloud. Then how we can do the data processing, how we can do the ETL operations, how we can transform the data using Azure Data Factory or the Azure Databricks, and also the Synapse Analytics service. So if you see, these are currently these are individual services. All of these are individual services like ADLA Gen2, Azure Databricks, Azure Data Factory, Azure Synapse Analytics, SQL Warehouse. So what they have done in Fabric is they clubbed all these services under a single umbrella. So if you go through this course, this will be a kind of foundation for your Fabric. Like most of the features are same from these individual services inside the Fabric. Like 90 to 99% match will be there. Some of the features will be different or configurations will be different in Fabric. So the key responsibilities as a data engineer will be like data ingestion, bringing the data from various heterogeneous data sources into the cloud to process it, and then to do analytical kind of reporting of it or do machine learning or AI related workloads. So that is important factor. For that, you should have the data in the cloud, and that is the key responsibility. So it can be on-prem data. So I'll just explain through this diagram. So you can have multiple on-prem data sources like SQL Server, Oracle, Teradata, Sybase, like around hundreds of data sources are there. So it's not just few combinations are there. You have n number of data sources from where you need to bring the data inside the cloud. And to bring that data into the cloud, we use the Azure Data Factory as a ETL tool. So we connect to the on-prem data sources, bring that data inside the Azure SQL database or inside the storage account. We are going to see these services in detail. So storage account, it's kind of the a location to add any kind of file. It provides terabytes of data size. You can add like many data into this one. From first copy the data from on-prem to these locations, and as required you can do the transformations using Azure Databricks or Azure Synapse Analytics or Azure Data Factory. So how to do those transformations we are going to see when we will see each of these services, how we can connect and copy the data So also when we have to copy the data, we need to consider the types of the data again. So first is the structured data. Structured is like traditional relational databases or Excel data you can consider like rows and columns, or SQL table data which is in the rows and column format. So that data is always called as structured data. Then we have the semi-structured data, which is kind of the JSON files where you have the tags, or the XML files where you have the data defined in terms of the tags. Like you will have the, let's say, the book name, book title, book author. So these will be specific titles or the tags provided inside the this semi-structured file format.
So
Uh,
I have a question about the semi-structured data. So you said XML files are semi-structured. JSON
yes,
would also be semi-structured. What
yes,
about
yes.
CSV files?
CSV are structured data. It is rows
There's
and columns.
okay.
Yeah,
So
it's a rows and columns. So anything which is in the forms of rows and columns is a structured data, relational database.
okay,
So only JSON and XML which are in terms of the tags are semi-structured data.
understood. And then blobs would be unstructured, right?
Yeah, so images, video files, audio files, then TXT files, you will have the audio files. All those will be kind of PDF files, Word documents will be kind of unstructured data where you can't query the data.
Okay.
You can't use these like specific query to retrieve the data from these documents. So these three types are also important when you have to do a job of data ingestion or data processing. First, you need to bring the data in a specific format for and to do the processing on that. So always these questions are important. What are my data sources? Like what is my source and target? From where to where I need to copy the data. So this is like what are my target sourcing. So these questions are important whenever you work in a new project. What data processing is expected? This is another one. What is the business logic expected on that data? So what is my source and target? What are the types of the data? And what are the transformations or processing that is required on the data? So as you start on a new project, these will be your you should ask these kind of questions initially, or they should have an architecture diagram explaining these things already if it's a like existing project setup already. So
So
what
those are
if
the three integral factors in determining the new project. What are my data sources? What are my targets
targets? Yeah, yeah,
and what data processes are expected?
yeah. And what is the type of the data? Is it like a relational database or unstructured data or semi-structured data that you want to copy and do the processing? Unstructured data also contains like the blog post reviews or the product reviews, and you will also have data in TXT files. So you have to sometimes apply the NLP. So it depends on what is your project use case. So unstructured data mostly will be used for like image processing, video processing, AI related work, or natural language processing on the data that you have related to the, let's say, blog post or the reviews or the comments given by the users on a blog. Different kinds of like unstructured data will be there. And on that, you want to do some processing, like you want to extract like sentiment analysis will be there, or um, you want to understand the positive or negative side of these sentiments, and then you want to extract key terminologies from so named entity recognition, NER it is also called. So again within NLP also there will be like various use cases, what exactly you want to do with that data. Same with the structured data, what will be the like you will have options to join the multiple files or tables. So join filters that you will use within this one structured data, like traditional querying data. So that you can do the data processing or transformation using Azure Data Factory, and it provides native connectors, around hundreds of connectors. Connectors meant it is, we just need to provide the the database name, the username, password, and the other details, and it will connect. And automatically, once we set up the copy activity, it will fetch that data, and whatever the target we will set up, it will copy the data into that target. So I'll show that.
Wait. So can you explain that again? The connectors. So like Oracle database is a connector? Is that what you're basically saying, or
Yes, Oracle is there, SQL Server is there.
so
Um,
MySQL, those are all
yeah,
connectors?
all are hundreds of connectors are supported. And how to configure that? It will be provided in Microsoft documentation.
Okay.
Yeah, I will show you on the portal also, like how it look like these services. So you have like native option to connect. So that is the benefit of getting this tool actually. You do not need to explicitly do any kind of coding here. So this is important, that this is no code based UI tool. Everything will
Okay.
be drag and drop or do the configurations in the UI, and you can do data copy as well as data transformations. And then you have the storage services like where you can store the blobs, the storage account, and the ADLS Gen2 account. This is like next level of the storage account. It is having like more performance and hierarchical structure. So that's the difference. We are going to see these in detail. And
The
then we
data
have
lake or
data lake, yeah. So storage account is there. We on top of that, ADLS Gen2 was built up. And then we have the Azure Synapse Analytics service, which is a data warehouse. And we can also do PySpark programming similar to the what we have in Azure Databricks. So in Databricks, we can do machine learning, AI related workloads or jobs, specific use cases, along with the data engineering or data processing jobs. The difference between Azure Data Factory and Databricks is that in Databricks, you need to write custom code for your data transformations. And if you also want to read the data from the different data sources, you need to write the specific code for that. In Data Factory, you have the built-in connectors already provided from the Microsoft side. You do not need to explicitly write any kind of code there. You just need to provide the required configuration details, like in terms of the server details, username, passwords, and any additional, let's say, port number or all those additional things. And you will be easily able to connect and copy that data. Whereas in Databricks, you need to explicitly write the code there. That's the difference. And in Databricks, you have the option to do like machine learning related coding as well as AI related coding that is not there in the Azure Data Factory. So that is the major difference. So why we need two different services. So sometimes we will be using the combination of these services, or sometimes we will just do the transformations using Azure Data Factory. And the storage services, we will go with Azure Storage account or ADLS Gen2 account. Or if it's a relational data, we'll go with the Azure SQL database also. And this is Cosmos DB's NoSQL database. Uh, n- it is kind of, you can process the semi-structured data also here. So depending on your project, you may use different services, all of these services or few of these services. So that depends on what is your use case, what is the type of the data, and what are the data sources, and what type of transformations you want to do. So machine learning specifically, you will go with the Databricks. If it is warehouse solution, you will go with the Azure Synapse service. And then if it is like reporting that you need to do, you will use the Azure Power BI service, Microsoft Power BI service. So sometimes machine learning related, AI related workloads will be there, or pure data analytics workload or BI related workloads will be there. You will use those for Power BI for that. In some cases, the process data might be sent to the web application also. So web application might refer to the Azure SQL database, let's say all the process data that you have. So there will be different possibilities also with when you go inside a project. It won't be a standard single project always. Each project will differ in data analytics, machine learning, and AI. The data type, and data sources will be different. And the transformations that you are going to do on the data will differ. So based on these requirements, your project will be set up. All these services will be set up. Some of these services or a combination of these services will be set up. So it is not that you are going to use all these services in a project. It depends on what is your business use case. So
Okay,
right now,
so
yeah,
sorry. So
yeah,
Fabric's a hub basically, right? It stores all of the it's Microsoft's new way of storing all of
correct. So
its
we are
services
going to see,
together.
yeah, I'm coming to that point now. So currently these are the architectures in the industry. So
Okay.
all these services are separately created, like warehouse, Synapse Analytics, let's say the SQL database or storage account, ADL agent to data factory, Databricks. All these services are separate services. And what they have done in Microsoft Fabric, all these services, they bring them into a single umbrella, under the single umbrella. And that is the reason they have this new DP 600, and recently they also launched DP 700 certification, which is advanced level within the Fabric. So the Fabric course that we are going to see will be basically based on this DP 600 certification.
Okay.
So the reason they are like retiring the current version of this, whatever we are seeing these services, because they want to promote this Fabric one. And
Understood.
for that reason, they are going to retire this certification by tomorrow. They had given already the timeline. So, but this will form the foundations of the Fabric. I'll show the Fabric architecture also.
Okay.
So this is the Microsoft Fabric architecture. So if you see, it consists of the data factory as well. So this is SaaS model basically.
Data,
Synapse
okay.
Data Engineering, Synapse Data Warehouse, Synapse Data Science, Synapse Real-Time Data Processing, Power BI. So all of these services are presently standalone, separate services, and we do need to integrate those services. In Fabric,
Okay.
they have bring all these services with additional capabilities and with removal of the some of the capabilities from the existing standalone services. So it is like just a 10% we can say difference between the existing services to these services. And they are continuously adding the more features within this one Fabric architecture. So data factory, again, it is for data ETL kind of operations we can do. So this is similar to Azure Data Factory. Synapse Data Engineering, it is again whatever we have the Synapse Analytics service. So that will form the foundations for this one, the warehousing solution. So where again we have option to write the Spark notebooks similar to what we write in Databricks. So if you see, all these services are clubbed available in a single service as a single data analytical architecture or a platform to do the end-to-end data analytics project. That is the main thing. And this will be one leg solution. This is a new concept from the Microsoft where you can integrate these different data processing engines with the same data. So in this case, what we are doing is right now in the current architecture, we are moving the data from different data sources to this one. All of these different services are accessing that data. We are making different copies of the data from one location to another location. That will be avoided here in the Fabric architecture. So all of these engines will be able to access the data which is stored in the one leg storage. So either it is Transact SQL, Spark, or Custo query language KQL. So this is used for real-time data processing and the Power BI services. So all of these services will use the single one leg data. And that's the reason they given the name as one leg. And it is formed on top of the ADLS Gen 2, Azure Data Lake Storage Gen 2. So this one leg is bring from the concept of ADLS Gen 2. Also, you can connect these different Amazon and Google data storages to one leg storage. So data will be considered as is it is available within the one leg, and you can do the processing using these different engines that we are seeing here. So this is first multi-cloud data lake, directly accessible by an application or service. So Azure data, you can connect and can use that data connections inside this one, and these different data processing engines that you can use to process the data. So Google, Amazon data also you can bring here. Within Azure Data Factory also you have option to connect to Amazon, Google, Salesforce cloud or different clouds, as well as on-prem systems as well, to bring the data inside the cloud. Here also they have given the capability of, that is a new concept they have came up with, that is called as shortcut within the Fabric. So you just provide the reference to your Amazon or Google storage location, and then it will create a copy for data processing during the data processing only, but actually the data will remain in the original data sources. So
So
that is
shortcuts are basically just a way to reference. So it'll still
correct.
be
Yes,
stored in the S3 bucket or wherever,
yes,
but you can still look at it in one lake through the
one link
shortcut.
is through the shortcuts. Correct. Yes. So that's the new concept they bring. That is the architecture of the Fabric. And as part of this uh, data engineering course, these are the separate services are there. If you do not want to go with the Spark coding or machine learning coding, you have another service that is called as Azure Machine Learning Studio. This is not part of the course, but I'm just explaining, like, if similar to Azure Data Factory, which is no code based UI ETL tool, you have option to go in Azure, like Azure ML Studio is there if you do not want to do any kind of coding for ML jobs.
Wait, so how would that work basically with ML Studio if you don't want to like
It will
can
be
you
drag
explain that?
and drop. It will be drag and drop options. You will have the options to ingest the data, select your data. Then you will have option to select your machine learning algorithm, or it will also run through the n hundreds of machine learning algorithms, and it will provide you the output of that. It's kind of auto ML related functionality.
So then what's the difference between ML Studio and Data Factory?
Data Factory is ETL tool. It is not related to machine learning or AI related thing. You just need to do the data processing. For example, you have the like data. You data will consist of the duplicates. It will have the blanks. So first thing is you need to do the data copy operation from source to target. And your source can be anything. Then you will have the data transformations, like these basic transformations will be there. So these are basic transformations. Then you will have complex transformations as well, like joins, like various SQL joins and filters on specific criteria. So all these again will be complex transformations will be there.
So the transformations is data cleaning, right?
Data
Both basic
cleaning,
and com
yeah, basic and complex. Yeah, again, what is
okay.
the requirement? What is the business logic? So let's say you have sales table, then you have customers table, then you have products table, multiple tables you have. So you need to do joins, fetch the customer having this ID from this sales table, let's say. Use the joins based on the ID column, customer ID column. So you will have to join these tables and get or apply filters on a single table itself, like where clause. Where clause you will use to extract the specific, like you do filters within Excel also. So similar to
Mm-hmm.
that, you need to do in coding or SQL language. the specific filters and bring that data, because you are not dealing with the small amount of data. You will be always dealing with GBs, TBs, or petabytes of data. And for that, you need the storage capacity, as well as you will need the processing engine for that. The higher
Okay,
compute you will need. You can't
okay,
do.
so
Hmm.
sorry, keep going.
No, you can't do the data processing always in CSV or Excel, because the data size will be huge, and you need to join these multiple tables as well, multiple files.
Okay, so you're joining and even when you're using SQL, for example, right? Like sometimes you're saying it's better to use a where function even when you're cleaning to filter out when you're importing,
Yes,
right?
yes, yeah, where, yeah, or between, whatever will be the requirement of your query, you will have to use that specific condition there.
Okay.
Age between, let's say, 20 to 30, you need to bring that records. You need to filter those records.
Yeah,
So,
that makes sense. So when you're importing, right? So let's say a table has 100,000 rows, right?
yeah,
So because it's 100,000, it'll take a lot of time, right? But if you use the where
that
function
option is
and you
also,
filter,
yeah, so query option is also there while you will copy the data in Azure Data Factory.
okay,
So you can filter the records before copying those records. So it's having that good configuration to do that GBs or TBs of data copy activities. So if you have requirement, or if you want to optimize or increase the performance, you can filter the records as well. Or you can
okay,
first bring the data as is into the cloud, and then you do the filter operation. So
which
it
is
depends.
recommended to bring in the entire data or to filter it first and then bring it in.
So that depends on the use case. First, if you want to bring all the data in the cloud, if that is the requirement, you have to go with bringing the data into the cloud, and you will do the transformations later on.
Okay,
So both, that's the reason ETL and ELT are the terminologies: extract, transform, and load. So you will extract, and during the like copy process, you will do the transformations, and then you will load. And in ELT process, you will first bring the data as is format, extract and load, and then you will do the transformations on the data.
okay,
So data factory will be used for this operations only. It is nothing to do with anything with the machine learning or AI.
okay. So ML Studio and Databricks and Synapse, that's all related to machine learning. Data Factory is
Machine
mostly
learning,
for
and again additional capabilities are there.
okay.
Warehousing solutions are there. Data warehouse solution is there. Traditional SQL warehouse capabilities are also there within Databricks and Synapse Analytics. So not just machine learning, but additional capabilities are also there.
Okay, so Databricks can also be used to for SQL warehouse basically,
Yes,
but
they have bring the new capabilities within the Databricks. It was not there previously, and that is available with the premium pricing tier.
okay.
So So we are going to see those services also, like what are the architecture components of that service, what is the use, how to configure that service, when to use that service, in which use cases. So data factory is basically for ETL, data copy operations or transformation without code. This is important. And machine learning, we are not going to see as part of this course, but just for your information, machine learning studio is to develop the ML algorithms for your use case.
Okay.
And there is Azure AI Foundry or Azure AI Studio also is there, new service. That is basically related to the chatbot development or AI related activities, like uh, image processing, video processing, all those are there.
Okay,
Then
so AI Studio is for you said image processing and what was the other one?
image processing, NLP, chatbot development, and then this Gen AI related development, you can use the Azure AI Foundry.
And that's part of Fabric as well, right? The AI Studio?
No, no, no,
Okay.
no. That's a new service actually.
Oh, okay.
So Fabric is also evolving actually. It's not, uh, they are bringing all these services together, and they are still evolving. So it will take
Uh,
some time to have these full service capabilities actually, because these are already set up, all these individual services. All these current projects in the market are related to these individual services, and there will be upcoming projects of migration from these to Fabric, or start the directly the new projects into Fabric. So those will be the requirements in the industry in upcoming months.
okay.
So I'll show on the, let me see if I have the login. So when we will see the Fabric, we are going to see these services, these solutions. It is called as solutions, or these components.
So- And data activator hasn't come out yet, or
It might came out. I need to check the latest on that. As I mentioned, they are continuously doing the new developments and addition of the features. So I think it may be ready. I will have to check that with the latest documentation from the Microsoft.
okay,
In these services also, they might be doing improvements, continuous improvements. So that will be going on.
okay.
We'll show the Azure portal.
So, a question, this course in general, so since it's a data engineering course, is there going to be any machine learning or no?
No, those are different certifications again.
Okay, I mean,
Machine learning certifications are different again. There is, uh, I think DP100 is there. That is machine learning studio related certification is there. Then you have Azure Databricks, again, you have separate certifications. So each service will become a detailed course if you want to go into the depth of that service again. So storage can become, it's like the, again, a separate course. Databricks will become a separate course in detail if you want to go of these services.
okay, so basically you're saying each system can be a specific course if I
Correct.
choose to make it, right?
Yeah, yeah, later on, yes, yeah. So this will be Databricks service I'm just showing you. So here you will have the warehouse solution and in the machine learning solutions here, which are not there in the data factory.
Okay.
Mm.
So data engineering, like what's a playground?
No, that's machine learning related part. You will
Okay.
you will try out your projects, and then you will have, so that's what I mentioned. Within that Databricks, again, you have separate certification for just this area. You have data engineering related certification. So data engineering is basically related to copy the data ingestion, then doing the transformations on the data. And most of all the projects will have 80% of work related to this data engineering. So you have these separate certifications related to Databricks again, as I mentioned. Data engineering associate, data engineering professional. So within data engineer, you will have the basic and expert level certifications, but those are also very tough certifications. So data analyst certification, data engineer, they are two. ML engineer will be. Then this is new one, generative AI.
And these are Databricks' specific
Yes,
certifications, not
yes, yes,
Microsoft's?
and yes.
Okay.
Yeah, these are specific. Then you have this DP100 related to the uh, Microsoft. So Microsoft is having, this is Azure Data Scientist Associate, where it will have the different syllabus again.
Data science associate. Okay, yeah. So this would, since the data science one would be more machine learning, right?
Yeah, machine learning. Then you have AI 102 certification, also AI related. Basic
Okay.
level certifications are there, and then on top of that, these are expert level certifications. These are very tough and complex.
So the DP 100 and 102 are expert level. Basically the
Yes, yes,
data
yeah,
science
deep,
associate and
yes, yeah,
AI engineer.
yes. And you have the DP 900, that is basic data
Yeah,
understanding.
I've taken the DP 900. I have that
Yeah,
certification actually.
yeah, DP 900, AI 900 is there. Then AZ 900 is there, which is the basic ones, fundamentals one, to just to familiar with what kind of services are there.
Okay. So
Yeah.
yeah, these are more conceptual. Like they don't go in depth. The
They will just kind of introduction kind of to the services.
Yeah. Okay, so this
And
course is mostly DP 600, right? Since everything is
no,
transitioning to
if you are going DP 600 is only basically for Fabric. We are not going to see these individual services. If you are going to choose both DP 203 and DP 600, we are going in detail of each services, the individual services and the Fabric architecture. If you are going with Fabric architecture only, we are going to see the Fabric services only, not the individual services.
Okay, yeah, I would prefer to do the individual services to get an in-depth knowledge of how to use each one.
Yeah, so that will be DP 203 course.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll show that as well. That is Azure Data Engineering Associate, where you will have, so this is going to expire tomorrow, basically, 31st March. And as I mentioned, we are going to see these services as part of this data engineering. Fabric is totally different. That is having different syllabus. As I shown in the slides, if you are going with DP 600, we will see those components within Fabric, not the individual ones. Maybe I'll show you the comparison, but we are not going inside the details of the individual services. So as part of this TP 203, these services we are going to see in detail.
So if I learn the contents of DP 203, right? I'm learning each individual, like all of them,
Services.
Data Factory, Synapse. I'm assuming all these skills will transfer over to Fabric
Yes,
because
yes,
Fabric,
that will be easier to learn there. You
okay,
can choose to directly go to Fabric also, you can choose to learn these services also. This will be kind of like formation or the basis of Fabric, because they just bring those services as it is inside the Fabric. There will be addition, 10% additions or removals, but
okay,
most of these services will match. So once you understand the concept of these ones, it will be easy for you to relate the concepts inside the Fabric. Why the service name is Data Factory, what is the purpose of that, what is stream analytics service, synapse analytics, all those, data lake gen 2, why data lake gen 2, data breaks. So similar things will be there in the Fabric as well. So this
okay.
is the Azure Data Factory service. Just wanted to show you these link services, the connectors that we were talking about. So if you see, all these hundreds of connectors are provided here to the Azure services and to the cross cloud services as well. So you can connect to the Google BigQuery, Google, if you have.
Google Sheets is a connector. Interesting.
It's a connector, it's in preview mode. So we are going to see these preview modes also, like what is the difference between the normal and the preview mode. And
MariaDB, MySQL, yeah.
so hundreds of connectors are there. You have HTTP, Salesforce cloud connections are there. Then you have the Amazon as well, Google. S3 buckets. So Azure specific categories, there are databases that you can choose, and then file connectors, FTP, STP, all those. So all these details connectors are there. And if we want to do any kind of connection, we just need to provide the details around that. We need to choose these. It is all from UI.
Okay.
So if I have to do this MySQL, I need to provide the SQL details there. Whatever the connector is there, it whatever it will ask for the configuration details, basically on that database, you can. This is overlapping. Just a minute. So if I have to connect to DB2, I need to provide the server name, database name, whatever will be the requirements, the authentication type. Sometimes it will be server based, sometimes it will be username, password. So that kind of combinations you will have to provide here. And you have the option to do the test connection. It's grayed out here, but once you fill in the details,
Mm.
that how you will connect and copy the data. So this is without code. Whereas in Databricks, you will have to do specific coding when you have to do the transformations. You will read the contents of the data in files, in uh, data frames, PySpark data frames or Scala data frames, and then you will process the data here. So you will read the contents of the files in data frame, and then you will process the data. You will do the some transformations on the data. You can create tables. We are going to see these in detail when we will learn as part of the DP203. But if you want to go into again expertise into specific area on Databricks, again, as I shown, you have the option of different certifications there.
Yeah, I'll just stick with the 203 for now. I think if I want to pursue that later, I'll let you know.
Yeah, sure. No, I'm just giving you the way ahead again, what you can do as part of your interest or expertise you want to develop in future. You
Okay.
have the options of on the not in
The
terms of the course, but I'm just saying you how you can grow in your career after you go with these basic understanding of the cloud ecosystem and you have the interest in doing, let's say, machine learning thing, and you want to do Databricks certifications, you want to do Microsoft certifications, you have these DP 100, DP AI 102, all these certifications for your future career growth, depending on your interest and in skill set. Yeah.
Yeah, that works. I think yeah, I'll definitely look into them in the future if I were to want to pursue them in the future.
Yeah, so that's the difference basically between these individual services. So if you see this is specific individual service, Azure Data Factory, and then we have Databricks service, storage, ADLS Gen2 service. Uh, then we'll go to see the Synapse service separately. Within Fabric, all are clubbed together. That's the difference. And again, how to do the configurations within Fabric, how we can read, write data, how we can process the data. All that will be part at the single place only within Fabric architecture, that is DP600. There we
Okay.
are not going to learn these individual services. We'll see the details inside the Fabric only. So these are differences or how these services are structured or what is the evolution happening, why it is happening. That is we are going to see all these things. and what will be the like way ahead again for you, depending on your interest. You can again specifically work on ADF, or you can specifically work on Databricks. So in your project also, you may not work on all the services. You will be scoped to specific task only, let's say data copy or data transformation. If you have interest and experience into machine learning, you will work on that specific area only. But as a part of the team, you should know the end-to-end life cycle of the data. That is the key thing, so that you will understand the better way, the project in a better way, and you will be able to perform your duties very well.
Okay, so understanding the end-to-end architecture will just help me have a better understanding of what's going on, basically, right?
Yeah, and when you will interact with other team members or other roles as well, you will know what they are doing and what is your role as well. What are your responsibilities? What are their responsibilities and boundaries? In some project, if there are cost constraint or the expertise are there, so that can also happen. So in some cases, you can work in multiple areas as well.
Yeah, that sounds good. I think I'd be interested in that, learning the
So,
DP203 first and then eventually 600.
okay. So there will be this cloud provider comparison, as well as I have a slide related to the various roles, data engineering roles. So what is the role and responsibilities? In real time, these may differ, but as a standard practice from the industry, for example, data analyst is mainly focused on reporting, how to create these reports. Either it's like using any tool or using coding, let's say, using these knowledge. And how, when as a data engineer, you will interact with these people, you will know what they are doing, and they will be also knowing what you are doing, what will be expected from you as well. So this syllabus is big in this case, so you have to be patient. Like as I mentioned, these many services we are going to see, so it will take around 30 to 40 hours as the discussions happen, or sometimes like if you have queries, discussions may go into a different direction sometimes. So it will be between 30 to 40 hours. We'll learn all these services.
Okay, yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah. You joined from the another phone, or that's a different user?
No, the other phone is my mom.
Oh, okay, okay.
You're on mute. Just
Hi,
So you
Yogesh.
can, hi,
Hey, I was trying to unmute on my phone. Okay. So yeah, very nice presentation.
thanks for that.
So I had a question. How much of AI/ML is going to be covered in this course, or I didn't hear the
No,
whole
this
thing.
is no. I shown to Sri Ram. There are multiple certification pathways are there. So one is related to the data engineering course. One specifically called as DP203, Azure Data Engineering Associate certification is there. Then
Mhm.
ML and AI related certification and course syllabus is totally different.
Okay. Okay. And
Yeah.
Fabric, right? So is that the latest and the best, or or what do you think?
Yes, yes. Yeah, so that
Okay.
is that. So industry will migrate to Fabric, or some of the industries currently started migrating to Fabric. I'll
Mm-hmm.
just share my screen again. So right now, all the Azure Data Engineering, as part of Azure Data Engineering certificate, there are individual services like Azure Data
Mm-hmm.
Factory, Azure Storage Account, Azure Data Lake, then Azure Databricks, Azure Synapse Analytics, Stream Analytics,
Mm-hmm.
and then Event Hub and Introduction to Microsoft Purview. So
Mm-hmm.
currently in the industry, all these are standalone services within the Azure cloud,
Mm-hmm.
and we have to do the integration depending on the project requirements. So in project, we may use all of these services, few of these services, or just single service as well. But this will be kind of foundation to Fabric. Within
Okay.
Fabric, what they did is they bring all of these services under a single umbrella. If you see the same data factories, their Synapse warehousing solutions, the reporting using the Power BI.
So you think it's still catching up, right? I mean, I first heard about Fabric just a couple of days back.
Okay.
Uh, from my brother actually. He was the one who brought up Fabric.
Yeah, so
But
industries.
look catching up, right? It's not
Mm,
very everywhere yet.
yes, because this is also evolving. They are adding new features. So industry is like experimenting this new solution as
Mhm.
of now in the market. So it will take
Okay.
like, but in future, most of the projects will migrate to Fabric, or a new the existing projects migrations will be there, and the new project start will be there on the Fabric. So Microsoft
Okay.
bring these new certifications DP 600 and 700, and they are going
Mhm.
to retire the current certificate that we are going to discuss as part of this course is the DP 203. But
Okay.
that will form the foundations for this one.
Okay.
And the
Yeah,
existing.
because
Hmm,
yeah, Ganesh was like, okay, why don't you check how many jobs are there in Fabric? What are the skills they're asking, like in the US, right? So we did
yes.
some basic search and I didn't see a lot of jobs in Fabric and hence all those questions from my end. Probably they will be coming up more, like more, they'll be opening up more in Fabric and as they
Yeah,
migrate to
in
Fabric.
correct. So in next 2 to 5 years, you can expect jobs on the Fabric. But as
Okay.
of now, in the industry, the current architecture is these standalone services and
Okay.
integrating those services.
Okay.
So yeah,
Okay. And I didn't see any Python anywhere. So is he going to use Python at all or no?
Python we are going to use within the Azure Databricks.
Okay.
So PySpark basically, not just the pure Python. We are
Mm-hmm.
going to use the Spark platform, that is Azure Databricks, for data processing purpose.
Okay.
That
Because he
will
was
be,
learning some Python, pandas, this and that. I
yeah,
was
yeah,
thinking,
pandas. Hmm.
yeah, I was thinking, is he going to use any of that stuff? It will be good
Basically,
because
that's not used. Means in general, pandas data frames are not much used now, because those are basically important when you are doing the data processing on small data sets. If
okay.
you have the GBs and TBs or petabytes of data, you will be
Mm-hmm.
going with the PySpark. So
Okay.
PySpark is basically, you will have the distributed data processing. So when you
Got
do
it.
the data right now, data processing using the pandas data frame, those are not distributed.
Okay.
Within
Okay.
PySpark, you will have the distributed data processing. So Spark
Mm-hmm.
cluster will have the one like driver node or the master node, and then it will have the additional worker nodes. So within
Okay.
PySpark, when you do kind of any kind of transformation, the data will be sent to multiple worker nodes, and distributed and parallel data processing will happen. And the same will
Mm-hmm.
not happen with pandas.
Okay.
But it's good to start having good knowledge on the Python. What are the basic things within Python? It's good to have that knowledge. But when
Mm-hmm.
you deal with the, and all the projects are related to big data processing, are dealing with PySpark or Scala or Spark
Mm-hmm.
SQL.
Okay.
So we are going to see those examples
Got it.
Databricks here, Azure Databricks service. This service here
Okay.
I have mentioned PySparks
PySpark.
scale. Yeah.
And I think I saw that you also working in the banking domain, right?
Yes.
Okay. So maybe, I mean, I think you're going to help him with some project work, I believe.
A project I will not take as such because there is no specific, as I mentioned, there will be a number of use cases. I will explain the using of these services, how to bring the data, how to do data ETL operations, data processing within each of these services, how to configure the service. So project will have different use cases. Like basically, I will teach each individual service how to configure that service, what is the purpose of that service. I will bring some sample data. I will show the labs as well or the practicals also with respect to that services. And then within the project, as the requirement comes up, he can use those services in a better way.
That's true, but one of the main things is for him is also to get some
Showing a
confidence.
project. Yeah, showing in
Yes.
project. If you need that help, like to show any kind of project, I will help in writing any kind of project in the CV. But once
Yeah.
you get better understanding and expertise in terms of the interview questions for these services, and that will not much matter.
It will not, but he's going to have a banking client on the project on the resume, so at least he should talk confidently about um something he did in the banking industry, maybe transaction monitoring, or like in like like in a bank environment, right? Like fraud monitoring or something like that.
Yeah, there in banking also there will be a number of use cases. So that's
Yes. Yeah.
but we'll not go in doing that setup end to end here. We'll be learning the services and how to configure, how to read dummy data, sample data, any type of data, and then you can how you can do the transformations basically. So you can just translate those things into the real time data that you are going to process basically.
That's yeah, but yeah, he needs some confidence in being able to talk with some as with an ex as an experienced person, at least 1 or 2 years that he had worked in some data.
Yeah, in that case, most of the time the questions will be based on these services. I will give
Okay.
like any of the projects I need to set up that one. Like I will give the description and summary and explain how that will happen in the cloud.
Yeah, I mean, basically, I think the assignment work will itself cover that. Like, if he's going to get any assignment from you or anything like
Sure,
that,
sure. I can give that assignment then. Yeah.
and he can confidently talk about it, right? This is what I did, kind of a thing, right?
Yes, yes, yeah.
Like that. Yeah.
Yes, I will
So
give the
I'll give it back
assignment.
to,
Yeah.
yes, I'll give it back to Sriram.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, so Sriram, you can contact to Ganesh and we can take it ahead.
All right. Thank you, Ganesh.
Thank you, Vish. Thanks for your help. And
Thank you.
Sriram, do you have any questions? Sriram? Any questions, Sriram? Okay, Vish. Thank you. Thank you for your.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'll
Okay.
speak to them and
Sure. Yeah. Bye.